Welcome to part 2 of assembling our bike with the Tungsten electric motor. In part 2, we're going to mount the battery. We're going to mount it on the lower bracket here. First thing is, as we remove our battery from the box, we're going to slide the base out of it so that we can separate the two, make sure we get them apart. So we're going to put it back together temporarily, kind of get an idea of where you want it to sit. There's never a whole lot of space, but ideally you have a pre-drilled hole here. If you can match it up with one of your water bottle brackets, it'll save you a lot of time. And this one, it looks perfect. Needs a little bit of room in the backside to be able to slide backwards off of the assembly. And it needs a little bit of room up here as it comes in so that you can stick it forward and slide it back on. So once you know that it's going to fit, we're going to take it apart. Going to remove these 3 screws here. Okay. Normally I'd do that over something. We're going to remove this metal plate here. All right. So the plate should separate, and this actually piece slides out. You don't need to remove it. If it does come out, the black is on the left. You can tell if you put it in upside down because it doesn't really want to fit very well, and it sticks up here. And it really won't assemble back together smoothly. So just make sure that if it does come out, it's flat and flush and smooth with the top, and you've got it perfect. So first thing we're going to do is take one of our 5mm nuts. Let's see, what do we have here to tighten it? So, and I'm just going to put it on here and slightly tighten it down so that it's onto the water bottle holder. So we're going to go this way. So put that in, should spin right on. Make sure we put the cover back on. We have a hole to go through to be able to continue to tighten it down. We just want it barely tight. All right. Because we want to be able to turn it. Now this is going to allow us to line it up with the frame. Look at it from all the different sides. Get it perfectly square. Decide where we want the next attachment point. Once you get it nice and lined up, I have a tool. You don't need to use this tool. You can use any type of tool that will mark your spot. This just happens to be made for this purpose. Notice I'm going to the upper slot and I'm going to about the middle of it. I figure from an engineering perspective, that gives us kind of a maximum length in terms of attachment. We don't have any ends flying around. So it comes loose. So this tool, you simply press down on it and it makes an indentation. I like to do it a couple times without moving it. And now if we turn this, there's a small mark right here. Perfectly where we would like to place our hole now. It's right there. So now I know where to drill the hole. I can leave this here. I can remove it. Now to drill this hole, we have an attachment from Milwaukee Tool. You can get them at any hardware store. There's a number of different ones. I just have a small drill bit that I'm going to use to create a pilot hole. I'm going to use just a standard hand drill. Hopefully we can hold it steady and create a small hole there. Oop, that came off. Just have to be careful, go slow, drill once the wonder. There, got our pilot hole. So now we're going to use this basically just a drill bit for making holes in variable sized holes in sheet metal, 1/32 increments. I have a small drill that I can So what I do is I just sneak up on it, one step at a time. I think one more. Yep. One more step. We ought to. There we go. Perfect. So then our riv nut should fit down inside there perfectly. So in the packet, I've given one. This is a little riv nut assembly tool. We're going to crank on this nut here. It's going to pull this side in. Hopefully the riv nut doesn't turn and it'll smash it into place. An alternative method is there's a riv nut tool. You can spin this on to the end of it, put it into the hole, pull the trigger, and it'll put it in place. But since I didn't want anybody to have to buy a special tool just for that, so I like to take a pair of vice grips so I can just put a little bit of downward force on it, hold it in place. Oops, let's tighten that up. So I'm going to press it down in a little bit, and then I'm just going to start turning this nut, and you'll feel resistance. It should be smashing it, and the bottom part should not be turning. And we just want to cinch that up until it's it's a whole new level of resistance, and it's perfect. Don't need to go too tight. Now we can take our insertion tool off. If you need to, you could reload it. Put another nut in if you have to put one in a different spot. There. Now, you can see, oops, I smashed that in a little bit. Might have to do that again. I over torqued it. Yeah, maybe we can do it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it with these. Oh, here we go. Should be able to just tear that right out of there. All right, so let's try this again. This time we're not going to cinch it out so tight. All right, so that goes in there. Get the three tools. So we're going to clamp this on again just to be able to hold it into the spot. We're going to just kind of tighten this nut. Make sure that's pressed down in there good. And then we'll feel it to where it starts to stand up on its own. You can feel it's kind of tight. Maybe just a little turn after that, but not much, just to make sure that it's snug. As soon as you get it snug, you can back it out. There, we have our riv nut. Again, we should be able to just take and stick our in there. Okay, now to assemble it back together. Again, we're going to make sure our cord is coming out the hole here. Slide this down, put the cover on, put the screws back in. Make sure that fits in there well. Make sure that it's lined up well. Should easily screw down. Should fit right in the hole. Okay, so now we can take and tighten this back one a little bit. Get that lined up. Now hopefully it's short enough. The screws that I've provided sit nicely in that groove. They're round and they're smaller than the depth of the groove. So tighten that down nice and secure, not too tight. Remember, we have aluminum threads. Don't have to go too tight. Make sure it's secure. That's not going anywhere. You can check the back one again. That's a nice mount. Then the battery slides right on. Ta-da! Secure as can be. Haven't had any come loose. If I ever had one come loose, I've given you extra riv nuts. One key is don't over tighten when you're tightening down the riv nut when you're implanting it first. Other than that, piece of cake.